and behold, somebody emailed me one day and said, there's this clip on YouTube. He says, "Is this woman you?" And I was amazed, and I went to YouTube for the first time and I saw this. I couldn't believe it. My name is Inesita, and I am a Spanish dancer, and of course that includes flamenco. Flamenco can only be Spanish, but Spanish dance can be other than flamenco. The flamenco is very special because it's unwritten, and very often most guitarists do not even read music. And with Spanish dance, theater dance, or theatrical dancing, you have a composition which you can make a dance to, and it's set, finished. But with flamenco, since the music is unwritten, there is no ending and there's no beginning. It's an endless chain of rhythm. And you can make it longer or you can make it shorter. In fact, you can start in the middle and go forward or backwards. It's not like a composition that is written down in musical notation. Parallel to nature is that we have repetitious forms in nature, night into day, phases of the moon, movement of the seasons. One flows into another. So you have an infinite chain that's manifested in flamenco. So that you can make the dance very short, you can cut it. Change the variations around. It's very, very important for the dancer to be the conductor, and you have to have the experience and the knowledge, which is gradually acquired over years. We're working together, like it's a system. I had quite a reputation, a career in itself on the West Coast, all over from San Diego up to Seattle, all through Texas and Arizona. But I wasn't known in the East at that time. This is when I was in my 20s. I was about 25 years old. I probably already had a few years of professional life, and I was appearing in Santa Barbara. I was on tour for some years. I offered to dancer Inesita. I was the editor of the news press. Santa Barbara, sometimes a perfect thing can slip into your midst, and you may not be aware of it, but before your very eyes there danced Inesita. One feels with her this exaltation, as if life itself could be caught up into the momentum of joy and all that the dance stands for. I thought about that for many years, about the exaltation. I think that's a good description of what one feels in the dance. Now, in the other forms of dance, you have that feeling. It's a physical sensation that I think only another dancer can understand.
Wonderful.
You are so marvelous. Every time I see
I had many agents over the years, and some of them were quite important. But when we married, he became very interested in my work, and he decided he would like to help me. Make contacts for me, write letters, talk to people, be my representative. And it's a difficult chore, really, for a husband. Technology changed. He couldn't sell these 16-inch discs, which were the recordings from the radio programs that he did. Just at that period, we were struggling and we were behind in our mortgage payments. And out of the blue, I got a phone call. Inesita said, I would like to go to Paramount Studios because they're looking for a flamenco dancer. I never looked for movie work. It didn't appeal to me. I never had any ambitions to have any work like that. The only reason that I was offered these opportunities was because somebody saw me in a showcase in a nightclub. I've done every possible sort of work. Everything from nightclubs, cabaret, films, concerts, beer joints, whatever. The dance director was Nick Castle. He was quite well known at that time. He was a real dance man, and he appreciated my work very much. And anyway, he told me, he said, Inesita, you gave me everything that you asked for. And the picture had come to girls, and he said, and then he gave me more. This was after the concert. I saw it in 1955, where I did the Goya. Your performance last night gave me quite a thrill. I will not forget it. I pray someday to have the honor to work with you again. My sincere regards, Nick Castle. That style of the Maha de Goya means it's out of the 18th century, the time of Goya. Happy Goya. Book here. Yeah. I did 6 scenes depicting themes from the life of Goya. I did that. I did 9 performances of that. It's a capriccio. And I dressed as an old woman and did a dance by bulerías using a cane. And that was one of the scenes. I called it The Nightmare of Old Age Lies in Wait for All Young. Not a very happy thought, is it? So I was depicting the Duchess of Alba. And it was depicting Goya's early years when he wanted to be a bullfighter. Ballet by a North American dancer, an original interpretation of the paintings of Goya. And she wrote all about my early life and what I'm doing in Spain and so on. They were very interested in it, but I didn't get a chance to do it in Spain. I'll tell you why. It depicted that Goya and the Duchess of Alba were lovers, and they don't like things like that in Spain. At least at that time. I was invited to dance at the embassy in a gala performance, and I had a quote from her too, where she said that a torrent of fire, a cascade of grace. The Maha Vestida is the dressed Maha, but then I also did in 1955, I wore some flesh-colored garments. Yeah, I know, it's supposed to be nude, you know, but of course it's... so the audience didn't know what else to do, but all the red cloth. was in the Baron's Castle. We were given a tour all the way, and they wanted to take pictures of me as the visiting artist. I was the first Spanish dancer to dance in the theater. The spirals represent continuity, and that's a very important word to use in connection with flamenco. You trace the spiral until you get to the head of the spiral, and then it winds in again, and it goes to the next spiral, and so that's a continuation. The individual dies, but the community lives on. This goes back 6,000 years. Dolmen, that's an ancient calendar. This is summer, this is spring and fall, and this is winter. It represents rebirth. We made a point about that in flamenco, because every time you finish a variation, you open up the door on the next variation. So there's like a nice little parallel there. I observe the dancers. I've seen what the new generation is doing, and one is influenced by that. I say I remain open. I have an open mind. I don't stay, well, you have to do it like this because we did it in the past. The tradition, of course, is very strong. But sometimes the tradition can evolve and take in other aspects. So we know that the flamenco of today isn't where it was 50 years ago. Everything changes, but you have to move with time. I returned from Europe. These students at New York University had an idea that they wanted to do something with flamenco. No script, it was just pure flamenco. And I had my guitarist, I had Emilio Bonet from Spain, and I had Paco Ortiz, who was a very good singer. We had, who would know? The fame of Martin Scorsese it was flamenco, the Art of Inesita. Robert Siegel, the director, was disappointed in his work. Sure, it didn't win a prize, but it had a good reaction. I found that I had a canister of film, maybe about 15 years ago. I sent it to him, and when they opened it up, they found that it was just this work print, which they had given me at the time. It was not in the film, but it was just of my dance without music. I never get tired of it because I'm always finding something new. My whole approach has changed from 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 30 years ago. I don't dance the way I did when I was young. I have not wanted to stay in one groove. I don't want to live in the past. I don't want to dance the way I did before. In fact, I think that in some ways I've added skills that I didn't have before. The dance to me is a composition in space and time. I have that feeling of expressing in an artistic way something that I have inside. However, it's not really personal feeling. The feelings are built in, and I know that's a difficult concept for people to understand. They've always assumed that the feelings and the passion, the emotion is part of one's own feeling. But that isn't true, because I would say that if I really was emotionally disturbed that way, I wouldn't be able to dance. Now, the word passion, as we know, it means suffering. like the Passion of Christ. I think it's overused a little bit too much in reference to the performance of flamenco. I would substitute the word power. Because it's very, very important for the dancer as the conductor to have a very strong attack in the heel work and everything. All of the movements are bold. And I think the power is a better word to use for flamenco. Maria Barbara married Felipe of Spain during that time, and she took Scarlatti, who was her teacher, with her. And so he spent the last 25 years of his life in Spain. The court was in residence in Andalusia in Sevilla for 4 years, and Scarlatti was influenced by the guitar and flamenco and the song and the entire aspect of this. And he wrote sonatas for the harpsichord, and I found in the music inspiration to create dances. It's another part of my career.